Hello, everybody. I'm Lorii Abela, your host here at Ready, Jetset, Go. And I am a clinical hypnotherapist and neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. And here in our talk show, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly in travels. One of the components of traveling is meeting locals in the country you are visiting. And we do not need to go far, actually, to meet people from different countries, as we are surrounded by people of different background here in Chicago. And we are actually a melting pot. We would talk to somebody who migrated from Ukraine and lives the American dream here in Chicago. I can resonate with that because, I myself have moved over here from the Philippines. So our guest, Tetyana Lenchuk, is an Uber driver and a Ukrainian language court interpreter. And she was raised in a town called Ternopil, which is located in the western part of Ukraine. So hello, Tetyana, how are you?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Lorii. It's so nice having you and seeing you right now.
Yeah, it's always nice to see, we haven't seen each other because of the pandemic, but right now, that's how we see each other. Yeah, so Tetyana, so tell us what are the general qualities of Ukrainian people that you have seen growing up?
Yes. So again, I am from the western part of Ukraine, and on my mom's side, her parents are from eastern part of Ukraine. Specifically, there are 60 kilometers village from the border with Russia. So it is Lugansk, one of those two districts that the war kind of started from. And growing up in both areas, but of course, predominantly I was in western part, my childhood was very peaceful and very average. I've gone to school, elementary school, then to high school, which was college prep school. Fun fact, in order to get into this high school, there was a task, like a mandatory thing. Besides passing the entrance tests, we were requested, all of us, my then future classmates, to climb the highest mountain in Ukraine. Located in a mountain range called Karpate, or Croatian, I think, on English. And we did it, but you had to, or else you would not get in. So that was an entrance in this young adult life, I guess, as a teenager. The idea of that was, I'm still thinking, what was the point? Life might not be always easy, educational work is not by easy, but step by step you can even achieve as far as climbing the highest mountain. So my life, I came from the middle class family where my both parents worked. Post USSR, as it ended, and as most of you probably know, USSR was a communistic union of countries that agreed to be members of it. Post-USSR, which was in 1991, here I was, I'm 37 right now and born in 1884. So here I was just being a little kid, and the country at that time, as newly independent Ukraine, again, from my perspective, my experience, was fine to me as a child because I didn't have any needs. My dad and mom worked. They managed to hustle, that's the word in English, to become entrepreneurial and find a way to put the bread on our table. We had a home where we lived with a garden around it, and we were fine. But I could sense, even though I was young, that my dad was under constant pressure to how does he provide for us. They did their best as parents not to show that they're under huge stress. Now I know as an adult that they were completely stressed. And the new economical changes within a brand new country have pretty much pushed locals to overnight start searching for new ways to create income. And many have flooded to other neighboring countries to basically buy goods and import inside of Ukraine to sell it and make money from it. So many became entrepreneurs, not by choice, but because of survival instincts. So is my dad. He became overnight. His background is in art and marketing, but overnight, once again, there was no more predictable, stable jobs within USSR because it was like a giant machine that has giant businesses. They all just stopped functioning. And the country was missing, as a brand new country, Ukraine, we were missing middle and small sized businesses. If we had some, I don't think so. It was just not the same regime. And so my dad became one of this big wave of, baby startup 101 entrepreneurs. Some people struggle with that, and it was extremely hard. Luckily, my dad was just motivated by survival and having kids and wife to support, so he did his best. He even traveled as far as China, and I'll never forget it. He was buying these, for decoration purposes, flowers, different bouquets to decorate. They were very famous back in the day in 90s.
That I know that, your parents decided to migrate over here. And so how was it like for you? Like, it's a new location, and then you don't have friends over here. I don't know if you spoke English right away.
That's a good one. So here I am in the high school, stressing over tests, prepping for that. Suddenly, at that time, my dad said, it's like the competition doing what he does, more and more people doing the same thing. He's like, I gotta come up with something else how to make money. This no longer works. It's okay, but it's not great. And we had already at that time relatives who have migrated to Canada prior us. Accordingly, they live in Montreal and Toronto, a few families. And they randomly, over the phone conversation, mentioned to my dad that, why don't you come to Canada, try out working and living here? Maybe that will help you to support your family. My dad jumped on the train, bought a ticket, went to capital city where we have embassy and diplomats of Ukraine, Canada, and fill out the application for a visa to Canada. Paid the fee, the basic fee that they had into administration, and he had the visa in his hand to go to Canada. Just like that, extremely spontaneously, he got home. My mom was like shocked. What do you mean you're leaving now? And next thing, my dad was gone for, I don't know, a year and a half, how long, as long as his stay was there. I don't honestly recall that part, because just, all I know, he was gone. And then some of his friends from our region, former neighbors who managed at the same time moved to Chicago, United States, called him, said, why are you in Canada? How about you come to United States? It's word of mouth. Next thing we knew, we were advised that there's such thing called green card, which is a lottery based. I know it sounds weird, even at this time. It's a lottery based immigration visa for those who would participate. I'll give an example. Let's say United States opened this the door between Ukraine and another bunch of countries within Eastern Europe, Western Europe. I don't have the list right now. You'd have to check for yourself online. And they said, fill out applications, those who would like to participate, and we will make a drawing. And then those who are selected are lucky winners. We were lucky winners who absolutely spontaneously filled out the papers. And here we were. Next time I know, my mom receives a big yellow post envelope. She opens it up and it says, congratulations, you won green card. Now you need to fill out this other package of documents and show up to embassy. And that was it. My life from that moment on, as I knew it, completely just changed from before and after. Next thing I knew, we did my mom, of course, handled all the administrative part. Next thing I knew, we came to the embassy. So the officers would meet my mom and me with my brother. Next thing they said, okay, you're approved to go now fly to US. My dad at the time already came back from Canada, so we joined together, and then as one unit, as a family, came for the first time to Chicago. And it was summertime, but we had bags packed with our winter coats just in case, because we were starting from nothing and we were scared of worst time of cold. So I believe we had 6 bags, if my memory doesn't lie to me. We packed cooking pans, frying pans, and other stuff that now we look at that, looking back, it's like it's insanity to carry all that stuff. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't have a place to stay when we came. Luckily, whoever knew, acquaintance of my dad, said, listen, you guys, I live in a 2-bedroom apartment. I used to share that with my roommate who just moved out due to changes in his life. I do not need all this apartment for myself. I will move out. You can have this place. Just take care of the rent. We took it. 4 people, 2 kids, 2 teenagers, and 2 adults, my parents, and here we are. And in terms of language and adjusting period, besides saying, yes, I had English as a second language in my school, but it was like Latin, like a dead language that was there to pass the test on, but not, I would not use it to really speak. It was just something theoretical, rather real. So I'll never forget it. On our way for the first time flying internationally, which was a culture shock, from I think it was probably Ukraine to Poland, and then from Poland to Chicago International Airport, O'Hare Airport. I had 2 next to me passengers, my peers, 2 cute guys my age from Great Britain, from London. And I so much wanted to chat. We had 8 hours to kill. And all I could say, hi, my name is Tetyana. I am from Ukraine. That was it. It was embarrassing. I felt shocked that I couldn't say more, remember, from my curriculum. And I promised myself at that moment that the moment they step on the soil of United States land, I will immediately learn English, because I'm naturally bubbly and talkative, and to me, not to speak is just like a death to the soul. And I delivered the promise. As soon as I got there, within 2 months, I spoke English.
I like this, this is like the average way that most people come over here. Like, it's not automatic that everybody speaks the language. And then, like, there's a lot of adjustments from the start to finish, like looking for work, like, looking for a new place, then learning the language. And yeah, it's sometimes true. You have a surprise, like the culture shock. And so I know that you have seen a lot of things growing up, and so like your country has been invaded so many times. So how do you see that did it affect the Ukrainians in general, both the old and the young generation?
The current situation is there have been stages, and now it's a combination of all at once. For me personally, my experience, and then I'll share what I see from my immediate family, etc., who's been directly affected. So my personal experience, once I heard it, it was same as September 11th. For example, for us, those who are in US, is this a joke? Is this some kind of hoax, like April 1st joke, kind of with a dash of shock? The brain could not comprehend. That was just a shock. It's like, what? Like to me, it came from nowhere. It was not expected. Then next thing, there was sadness and anger and sense of what can I do immediately to help, and realizing I'm here and there's others, and even embarrassment. What am I doing here? I should be there to rescue, save, help. There was that, the immediate, like, how can I help to resolve this thing? There was lots of what was missing is clarity. Why? In the middle of modern world, yes, we have tension and worse on some of the unfortunately parts of the world, which is also not okay. But striving for peace and basic, just, everybody has a basic level of survival to be taken care of, then love and connectedness, and then hopefully legacy and creating future for our next generation. And when I say our, as citizens of this planet, for our children, so this humanity has future. And when my goal has been as a young adult to, well, young or not, but adult, to my brother has 4-year-old daughter. I'm like, I'm looking all forward towards how to create the best of the best experience for her. And having these news, I'm like, I can't believe this. It also immediately brought the sense of unsafety and fear, definitely terrorizing, paralyzing type of fear. Immediately, myself and my 2 parents who are in their 60s reached out to our relatives. Specifically, as of right now, I have my father has his sister, my aunt, she's in her 50s. Also, my cousin, her daughter, she's 26 years old. She's a nurse who specializes with drawing blood, a lobotomy, I think it's called. And and also 2 grandmothers of mine. So it would be accordingly a mother of my dad and mother of my mom, next generation. And this is my immediate family. Of course, there's neighbors, friends, entire communities that I deeply care about, and I don't want anyone to be harmed or scared. So that was when it was announced. Within 1 hour, again, the country was invaded by, according to the news, what was fed to me and us through social media platforms. The major airports were attacked from the air by a Russian government, aka with, being headed with their current president, Vladimir Putin. And that was really prejudiced as my reaction, because it means it prevents civilians from being able to fly off to flee, to fight for their life by escaping. And that was very cowardly, I would say. That's the word that keeps on running in my head. That is so cowardly to attack innocents in such a most unmerciful way. Now, I did not follow closely the politics of NATO or no NATO, and Ukraine being between those 2 eastern world of Russia. Russia is Eurasia. That's the term we use in Ukraine, in terms of the part of their lands are already tapping into Asian cultures. And they have, I don't mean to get sidetracked to Russia, what's going on there, but they're a large country that is home for different ethnicities, not only Slavic, similar genotype people like Ukrainian Russians. We have the Slavic background, but there's those Russians who are Asian and different, complete, they have their own different religion, they have different cultural heritage. So when we say Russians, who do we talk about? Because they're collaboration of different people. What's so with Ukraine coming up to this war situation right now, Ukraine has, in terms of cultural and religious diversity, it's predominantly there's going to be Christianity running the religious background, but there's also Muslims in Crimea and some other areas. We have Jewish population, they have their own religion. But predominantly it's Christianity. It's not so much, it's not Catholic, it's Greek Orthodox type. Again, this is not the type of conversation, but in terms of languages, our country officially has 2 languages. It's native Ukrainian. We are Ukrainians speaking Ukrainian language, and Russian, due to our history being inside of USSR, union of other countries, and Russia was like sort of Moscow, their capital city, was kind of the center of this union, like a main controller part thing. I don't know, like a center of that. Yes, the center. Russian was used to be able to communicate among all the members of this union. including Kazakhstan and all the Stan Asian countries that have completely different languages that are far from even Ukrainian or Russian. Now, those who ask me, what's the difference between these two languages? Are they kind of the same? Obviously, if they have different names, they're not the same. They're similar. I would personally compare them to, let's say, French and Spanish. French would be a little bit more complex. That would be Ukrainian-like. And then Spanish, a bit easier, I'd say, to me, Russian. But they're quite close. We use the same alphabet called Cyrillics. They're the same. I'll call them glyph for right now. The same characters for the difference of two or so, few of those that are a little bit, but predominantly, most of it is almost identical.
Yeah.
And
I really like what you're talking about, because, like, some people doesn't even know, like, maybe it's just like,
that's okay.
Ukraine just showed up suddenly in the map.
Because if I lived chunk of my life in that continent, in that region, minding my own business, adults going to work, kids going to school, I can imagine that anyone in Iraq, Iran would know little to none about us, because they're too busy living their life and handling their challenges and problems. And anyone in other continents, it's okay, it's normal. It's not prejudice not to know. It's okay.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. And let me ask you, like, what is your message to your Ukrainian countrymen who are now facing this rage of war?
First of all, my fellow Ukrainians, women, men, and children, elderly, and those who, by the circumstances, may be citizens from other countries who kind of either stuck or by choice chosen to volunteer. All of you right now on the territory of Ukraine, by the means of being citizens of this planet, really, human beings, I sincerely feel for you. You are, I'm blood related to those who are directly Ukrainians, and spirit related to all of you. We are supporting you not only with the prayer, but with the action. I've been rising and being part of fundraisers to send them. We've been sending the money and collecting the resources to you. Also the medical medicine and medical things. I have an entire list. First and foremost, I've been part of the community where we've been sending and informing others internationally on social media platforms of what can be practically and effectively in terms of time be done right now, hour by hour, day by day. Have we been 100% effective? No, unfortunately, because nobody was prepared by this, and that's what happens. Everybody does their best. But are we getting faster and stronger in everything we do? Our input? Absolutely. And my fellow countrymen and women, I am here and not just standing for you. I really want to, because I'm sitting right now. I am with you. In spirit, in my actions, in my thoughts. I try to sleep at night, but I barely can have any, sleep. I end up not being able to sleep all this time from the beginning, and because all I think, all I feel, all I concentrate is peace and ending this as soon as possible. I'm not a god. I don't know, besides asking our neighboring fellow citizens of other countries to please help us stop this invasion, stop this cruelty. And we're going to continue just asking, requesting, and signing up sanctions. I am on it. I am personally on it. My family, my mom, my dad, my brother, we've been on it. We are buying objects that you've listed that you need. So I'm with you. I'm actively on it. Thank you so much to Polish everything, government and people, because you responded immediately. You didn't blink your eyes how fast. You opened your borders. You shelter lots of people who are migrating from Ukraine to Poland. Many hotel owners opened their hotels for free. Many transportation organizations offered for months to start up free transportation. I'm amazed how unified you are as a nation, and how fast there was not a matter of question in your head and in your hearts that we are in it together. I'm just speaking up to anyone who's going to listen from either Ukrainian communities within all European countries and beyond, and those who are just citizens of all Western European countries. Please don't wait. You can help. I know many are struggling internationally post-COVID due to not working or other struggles and psychological breakdowns. But sometimes when you're so much up to assisting others with anything you can, by spreading the word, by saying that you care, it's this energy of unity is so strong that creates miracles that are unbelievable. So to wrap up, my message is, we are with you constantly. We're not stopping until we're gonna hear that this has stopped. We will not stop. We will not sleep at night until we hear that this has ended. So you're not alone. As long as I'm alive and breathing, I'm with you, not only in spirit, but physically, hands-on, with all the impact that I can and beyond what I can.
Thank you so much, Tetyana, because it's interesting because you're not the only one who speaks like that as far as their dedication to their countrymen. It's really amazing. You can sit down, Tetyana. So I would like to, of course, acknowledge all the Ukrainian people who are in Ukraine right now, because the men and the women, because there are also women fighting for their country, the women who are trying to keep their home together with their children and their parents, those elderly, in spite of the chaos outside their walls. So actually, I'd like to also mention that just in case that you'd like to help, you can always, of course, go to the Ukrainian embassy to find out, how can you be channeled, because, everybody has different talents. So whatever is your talent, I'm sure there is some particular organization that, you can be channeled to. Here at Ready, Jet, Set, Go, we're always looking for people who are professionals in the travel industry. And of course, those people who are open to sharing their travel experience. So for now that we're only focusing here about Ukraine, because there's something going on and we have to step up. Thank you so much again, Tetyana. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me. For you, Lorii, to making it possible and happening, because that's your talent and strengths. I really appreciate this. And God bless you and your family and everyone, again, who does this beautiful work for humanity. Thank you. May peace be with all of us. And until whatever, what's next.
All right. Take care.
Much love.